Go.
ahead. All right, so my name is Ethan Carmack, and I am in the leadership and leadership class for PAF311 at ASU. This is the Leadership Innovation Video Project video, and I'm going to be interviewing Orly Stanley, who was a leader in both the women's group and the singles group, men and women in her church. Go ahead and tell us a little about yourself, Orly.
Well, I am a wife and a mother of 5 children, and I have 9 grandchildren. And so I'm a leader right there.
Awesome. So what's it like leading a women's group within a church?
The first thing that I cared about was building respect. I wanted to show them, by my respect for them, that they could respect and trust me. I wanted to build up trust. And so by trusting them, I felt that they would then trust me, and that is what happened, exactly.
Awesome. So how do you get them to see, how do you get them to see the vision for the group? Obviously you go in with a vision as to what you want the group to be like, how you want to lead the group, but how do you get them to sort of buy in?
Well, my main goal being that I wanted them to become leaders themselves. I wanted to be able to multiply myself because I knew I wouldn't be around forever. And I wanted to multiply, and so by helping them to become leaders, what I did was I gave them small leadership little jobs, and they gradually grew in those, and then I gave them more responsibilities as they grew and grew. Over a period of about 20 years, I led the one group and the other one 15 years.
Awesome. So what sort of leadership jobs did you give them that would help build the group as a whole? Because you're trying to build more leaders within the group, and eventually it's almost as if you want to make it so that they won't need you at all, and they will lead themselves. So what sort of short-term goals did you give them to empower the larger, have more
Well,
person in the group?
first and bottom was their own families. I wanted them to know who they were as a person. Some of them single, but most of them had children, men and women. And then in the group that I did that was Spanish-speaking people, I wanted them to also start with their family, start with themselves, who they were. I wanted them to know that they were important and that they were no mistake. And I wanted them, in so doing then, to help others, like in their family, because that's where they could be a leader. And many of the women came from abusive relationships. But it was amazing. In the group that spoke Spanish, most of them were married, but many were in abusive situations.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. How do you get them to sort of get those people that were abused to speak out? Because from what I've learned, they aren't one to speak out right away and buy into any sort of group oriented feedback and hey, I'll tell you, you tell me type of thing.
Right. Well, when I was young, I was married to someone else other than my husband now of 36 years. And I was in an abusive relationship, and I kept silent. My best friend never even knew until this summer, actually. And she never knew. And so I knew how to relate to them. So I went privately to their homes. So you have to go out. You can't just stay in a group. You must take this group and treat them as individuals, going to their homes, eating with them, playing with their children, reaching them on a very personal level. And also making friends with their husbands. And many of the husbands became, my goal was for them to become Christians, of course. Not any denomination, of course, but just Christian. And they became Christians and now are leaders in their church.
Wow, that's amazing. How do you, let's see, what's another one? Now, how do you make that sort of change stick in a relationship, in a leadership relationship?
I still, even though I am not leading them and they're leading now, they're leading groups, I go visit their groups. I still call on them. I visit them in their home. I just had a call because one of the families, their son died. Actually, he committed suicide. And that was 17 years ago. And I called her on December the 1st because I always call her every December 1st and tell her that I love her and that I'm still praying for her and thinking about her.
Wow.
So you have to continue to, even if you're not leading,
Mm-hmm.
you're leading in a way.
Well, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
I hope to interview you again sometime for some other video project. That would be awesome.
Oh,
Thank
that'd
you
be
very
great.
much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Go
It's a
ahead and stop.
pleasure.